my name is Feva Sonadina and I'm from class 33 4A07, and I will explain about advanced listening assignment. Let's start it. Okay, part 1. Number 1 is what makes a happy life? Answer is a happy life is a life in which you are completely absorbed in what you do. Number 2, what is the result of Mihaly Csikszentmihalyi theories? Answer is the result of Mihaly Csikszentmihalyi theories is happiness is not caused by external events or things that happen to us. Number 3, how does Mihaly Csikszentmihalyi get the theory of follow? Answer is Csikszentmihalyi got the inspiration for this theory when he noticed how artists worked in a studio. They completely lose track of time, then didn't notice they were hungry or tired, and they could work for hours, even days, without stopping. Number 4, mention and explain the follow theory. The theory of follow can be summarized that this: when we are totally involved in or focused on what we are doing, we are in a stage of follow. And anyone I have spoken to who has experienced this stage of concentration has said it's difficult to explain. The best way to explain it is that it is like being in a river, and the flow of the water comes your way. Number 5, make a note. Csikszentmihalyi is a psychologist who has spent much of his professional life on the study what makes people happy and how we can find happiness. Csikszentmihalyi suggests the theory that happiness is not caused by external events or things that happen to us, or perception of these things and how we see this event either makes us happy or sad. In other words, if we want happiness, we have to actively look for it. However, this does not mean that we should always look for happiness. Csikszentmihalyi believe that our happiness moment happen when we are in a stage of follow. The theory of follow can be summarized like this: we are totally involved in or focus on what we are doing, we are in the stage follow. Okay, part 2. Number 1, what is the distinction between seed and nuts? Answer is some dictionaries say a nut is also a seed, others say a nut is fruit, and still others say a nut can be both a fruit and a seed. Number 2, according to the professor, how the botanists define a seed. Answer is botanist, that is scientists who study plants define a seed as part of the air, a flowering plant or tree that will grow into a new plant and a plant or tree if it buried in the ground and cremated. Part 2, number 3. Why does the professor mention kernels? Answer is the kernels is definitely not a nut, it's a fruit. People often eat the kernels, and when they do this, they say that they are eating a nut. For example, I'm eating a pecan, or I'm eating a chestnut. Number 4, what is the integument? Answer is sometimes the plant embryo becomes enclosed in a covering called integument. Number 5, make a note. Many people, including scientists, are confused about the distinction between nuts and seed. Some dictionaries say a nut is also a seed, others say a nut is a fruit, and still others say a nut can be both a fruit and a seed. The embryo plus is integument, therefore constitutes a seed. Sunflower seeds are a good example of this. You've got to crack open the black outer part, the integument, to eat the white embryo inside, right? That's why we call them sunflower seed and not sunflower nuts. Because a nut in cuisine is more loosely defined than a nut in botany. The term nut gets slapped on many seeds that are not true nuts. Almonds, for example, are mistakenly called nuts, even though they are actually the edible seed of plants called drupes, as are coconuts and pistachio nuts. Okay, part 3. There were 3 bears. A big bear, a medium bear, and a small bear. One day, they finished making breakfast. They walked out into the forest. While the porridge was getting cold, there was a little who snuck into the 3 bears' house. Her name was Goldilocks. Goldilocks went inside. First, he tasted the big bear's porridge. Then she tasted the middle bear's porridge. And finally, she tasted the little bear's porridge. The small bear's porridge was just right, and she liked it, so she ate it all. Then Goldilocks went into the bear's bedroom. First, she lay down on the big bear's bed. Then she lay down on the middle bear's bed. After that, she lay down on the little bear's bed, and it was just right for her. So she covered himself until she fell asleep. At that moment, the 3 bears rushed back home, remembering their cold porridge. The 3 bears were angry and surprised that someone had taken their porridge. So the 3 of them went upstairs to their bedroom. There was a little girl snoring in a deep sleep. Goldilocks jumped out of bed and ran downstairs, out the door and down the garden path. She ran and ran until she reached her grandmother's house. Goldilocks told her grandmother about the house of the the three bears who live in the wood. And her grandmother said, "Wow, your imagination is really wild, girl."